Blueray Disc organization has only two simple things to talk about. We'd like to do an announcement here, which you'll also later on get in the press folder as soon as you leave. We'd like to talk what we do here at IFA. The main thing which you will notice at this press conference is that we don't talk about hardware announcements. There's so many hardware companies here available which have their own presence and their own, private press conference that we don't like to interfere with that. We all know they endorse Blueray Disc very well, and we invite you to go to all the different press conferences. There's one behind us which is from Panasonic, just for logistical reasons. There is a bus stop especially arranged for today, so you can quickly go by bus to Hall 15 where the Panasonic press conference activity. And having Sun at the board really gives us an opportunity to accelerate the implementation and the value BD Java can bring in the interactive domain. So for that, we really believe we've made an important step here, and as per today, this is really formal and this will be part of our announcement. All the different products, technologies, media, software, whatever we bring to market is all incorporated. And here you see a small glance of the different companies who display their hardware. And that's what I meant earlier, we don't do hardware announcements. Those companies who display their product, they are available there.
Thank you, Frank. So now it's the very exciting Nick Sharples talking about PlayStation, and obviously the first Blu-ray player for us in Europe. So please welcome Nick Sharples, Director of Corporate Comms for Sony Computer Entertainment Europe.
Thank you, Nicholas. It's PlayStation 3 that's exciting, me less so. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you will be familiar with PlayStation, and indeed many of you will have one. But unless you're a specialist games journalist, you may not be completely aware of the size of the games industry, and more importantly, the potential for PlayStation to drive the Blu-ray disc format going into the future. So what I would like to do is just spend a very few seconds talking about our existing PlayStation, the PlayStation 2, and explain to you how that has driven the take-up of the DVD, driven the take-up of the DVD format. What about the future? Well, the future is PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 is the new computer games entertainment system from Sony Computer Entertainment. It is built up to an impressive specification, and it contains leading-edge technologies to justify its position at the center of the living room, rather than the PlayStation 2, which often as not sits up in the children's bedroom. So what about the specification of PlayStation 3? Initially it will come out in two specifications, a 20 gigabyte version and a 60 gigabyte version. Both versions will be fully compatible, or backwards compatible, with the PlayStation 2 titles, and if you really want to play them on it, PlayStation 1 titles. That's around 7,000 games worldwide. Each version has a built-in hard disk drive, either a 20 gigabyte or a 60 gigabyte, and the high-end specification has an HDMI output cable for full 1080p high-definition resolution. And that is important because for the first time it allows game developers to deliver the richness of their content to the consumer and exploit the benefits of the high-definition panels and create rich content similar to this. This is a test shot. So the game developer is going to be able to generate this rich, high-definition content. In addition, both PlayStation 3s come fully equipped with the digital heart of the PlayStation 3, which is the Cell processor, developed jointly by Sony, IBM and Toshiba, specifically for applications like the PlayStation 3. 8 synergistic processing units make it one of the most powerful processors in the world today. PlayStation 3 comes with Wi-Fi, it comes attached with a gigabit Ethernet socket, so it can always be attached to the network. And the new controller is a wireless, motion-sensitive controller that operates in 6 axes. There is also connectivity through the Wi-Fi between the PlayStation Portable, Sony Computer Entertainment's handheld device, and the PlayStation 3. And as we go through the life cycle, you will see more and more examples of PSP and PS3 interconnectivity. And finally, but absolutely most importantly, PlayStation 3 comes with a Blu-ray player, Blu-ray drive. Blu-ray is fundamental to PS3, and it is what allows us to generate and create the high-definition entertainment that people are going to be wanting on their high-definition panels. To forums, on the fly, whilst they're playing either the game or the movie. And finally, they'll be able to download extra content, either from the network and put it onto the hard disk drive, or unlock additional content that sits on the Blu-ray disc. So, PlayStation 3's next outing is going to be at the Tokyo Game Show at the end of September. There, consumers will be able to play 27 playable titles which are nearing their development completion and will be available during the launch period of PlayStation 3. In addition, they will also be able to view 35 video presentations of games titles that are still in development. Quite an impressive launch lineup for a new console. The details: PlayStation 3 scheduled for launch in Europe on November the 17th, the price of €499 or €599, depending upon the model. And in terms of quantities, this is important for games, for content providers. We're looking at delivering 2 million shipments at the launch period, a further 2 million shipments before the end of the calendar year, and a further 2 million before the end of the fiscal year at the end of March. That's 6 million Blu-ray discs in circulation in homes, 6 million PlayStation 3s in homes by the end of March. And in Europe, we can expect to see around 2 million of those PlayStation 3s available.
Quality, it has lifelike sound, and especially the interactive capabilities of the format, we really believe will provide a new experience for consumer experience in watching movies at home. So how is 20th Century Fox going to support this format and demonstrate and help demonstrate the capabilities of the Blu-ray format? In summary, our first wave of release for the international markets will be starting in November, and I'd like to summarize with 3 key things.
Luckily, he's not Italian.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Do I have to turn it up? No, I don't have to turn it on myself. I'm not Italian, and I'm not French, and I will tell you all that the real football season starts in a week. They told me this was a high-tech show, in fact, the biggest high-tech show in the world, and so I thought I should come prepared with a high-tech presentation. So let me just prepare it. You laugh, but you should see the pen and the technology in the pen that it takes to get a 30-minute presentation onto this sheet of paper. I am very proud to be representing Warner Home Video here at IFA, and in conjunction with the launch of Blu-ray here in Europe. Both the CE players and the PlayStation 3. We will release titles this coming November in at least the following countries: UK, France, Germany, Spain, Switzerland, Austria. And while the number of titles will vary from country to country, there will be a minimum of at least 10 titles out before Christmas comes in each of those countries. As we have done in the US, we have taken and will present as part of our launch titles a good combination of brand new releases or very recent releases, as well as some of our best titles from our very extensive catalog of product.
Let's see if I've got the microphone on. I think we do. Well, it looks like the international analogies are going on here, so being Norwegian, not even participating in the World Cup, I don't know where that takes me, but I probably have to stick to the skiing, I guess. I'm very proud to be here today and announce two main statements. We went out with a press release this morning, and the first part of the announcement that we're making is the support that we're giving the BDA and the Blueray format. Very excited about the opportunities that this is going to give us going forward. The other announcement we're making is the fact that we are now launching Blueray with the launch of MI3. MI3 will be launched at the end of November, which coincides with the release of the DVD. And I just want to talk a little bit about that release because it demonstrates.
Our Senior Vice President. Matt, please.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today, and it's great to see you all here. I've been in the video business in some context for 26 years, and it really is a privilege to be standing on stage talking about Blu-ray. The storage, the connectivity, the interconnectivity, the highest quality sound and picture, the participation over 170 companies, the top movie studios, the top computer companies, and consumer electronics companies. It's just a fantastic format. Sony, needless to say, stands behind it 100%, and we're very, very thrilled to be in a room full of these partners launching the format. We are pleased to announce, and I'm not going to read the press release, they're available in copies at the back of the room after this conference, that we are expanding, obviously, Blu-ray beyond the borders of the United States and Canada into the rest of the world this fall. We think we're going to ride what we've seen as the explosive growth of the high-definition television sets around, particularly in Europe, but around the world. And we're going to provide consumers with this amazing content to go along with the wonderful hardware and players in the PlayStation 3. I think three things that you certainly can see as a commitment from Sony. We're going to release most titles day-and-date with DVD going forward. If we don't release it day-and-date, it'll be because we're working on those amazing features and interactivity that other people have been talking about that we want to get right with this new format. So the Java games and things like that. But in most cases, we'll be day-date with new releases. We will release titles monthly that certainly showcase the format and showcase and with content that's very much for the early adapters. And then we will have regular monthly releases from the beginning this fall. We intend to have product in every European market in correspondence with the first hardware in those markets, and we'll release product monthly on an ongoing basis. So very excited about the product, very excited about our releases. Some of the titles that we'll be releasing include in the first batch. So I'll turn it back over to Nicholas. Thank you very much.
Now it's time for Q&A, so I hope you all have questions. I haven't counted, but actually I think it's a lot of titles that we disclosed to
CT. I have a question for all of the film studios here, especially from Warner. Warner was the first company in the US who released films on both Blu-ray disc and HD DVD. And when comparing the picture quality, the HD DVD was a little bit more detailed. That might be because the HD DVD uses a different video codec called VC1. What type of video codec will the studios use when the films come to Europe? Will it be MPEG-2 or will they switch over to VC1?
It really is a title-by-title decision. While the first 4 titles we put out on Blu-ray were using MPEG-2, future titles that we will put out will use VC1, and some may use MPEG-2. We are using VC1 currently on HD DVD. I will tell you that our goal in releasing titles in both formats is to have the consumer have an equal experience in both formats, as long as the formats allow for that. And certainly in the testing and the side-by-sides that we've done before we release a product, we have to be satisfied that it is something that is acceptable to us in whichever format we're putting it out in. So some of those tests, obviously we're not running those tests, so I can't speak to how they're conducted, but certainly before the product leaves our labs and our authoring studios, we are trying to put out the best possible product we can.
So to fully enjoy the quality of next-gen DVD, either Blu-ray or HD DVD, you should have the full HD TV screen. Is it correct?
Well, I think there's of course an evolution going on from the old standard definition televisions towards full 1080p televisions. In the meantime, the definition, the HD Ready logo means a television that can do 720p and above. So that means that at least the Blu-ray will give them in all cases the very best quality they can get, and in all cases well superior to what's available.
It is in such a way that it's not excluding certain regions if a studio believes it's part of their release process. So we have region A, B and C. A disc can contain A, B and C and therefore be usable in any territory without any problem. And it's up to the discretion of the studio and the point of launching a certain title to make use of that. And I think that's the whole intention of this regional coding, to make that work. And the system is built around that solution.
I'll leave it there. Time will tell. Thank you.
Hi, Laurent Calixte from Challenges Magazine France.
The aim of this activity is all about to make a success out of that format. And we don't like to go in any way in a discussion, say what the other has or what we don't have. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the values, as we have shown throughout the press conference, the quality of video, the quality of entertainment we like to bring by means of games, and the supporting hardware which is created right now and which you can see at display in Hall 26. That's where this event is all about, and not about numbers, because be aware, from antitrust point of view reasons, we even cannot give you the numbers because the law is forbidding us to talk about that on, say, in this combination. Yeah.
Vittorio Manti, Italy. What is going to be the retail price of movies on Blu-ray, and is there going to be a difference between 25 gigabytes and 50 gigabytes?
I would like to say it's a good question, but this is typically an individual company question. They can all position their own software based on their quality, and I would like to ask you to address that question typically to the individual companies.
I'm not sure if threat is the right word, but I think you can look at 2 aspects of it. One is, and speaking for 20th Century Fox, we support distribution of content through a variety of means. The consumer can choose whatever delivery mechanism is convenient for them.